Tonight, I'm going to show you how to build this wood wall art. For my wife's Christmas present this year, I decided to make some wood wall art in the shape of a mountain lake. The process for this is really straightforward, and the only tools you really need are a miter saw, a table saw, and a router. The first step was to decide on the overall size I wanted. I cut a piece of 1/2-inch plywood to 48 inches long and about 24 inches wide, and then started planning out how I wanted it to look. Odd numbers are usually better in art pieces, so I decided to make 5 mountains. Then I took a few 2x4s and started ripping them down to various thicknesses. In order to show some depth to the wall art, the mountains in the foreground needed strips cut at a 1/2-inch thick. The background mountains needed a 1/4 inch thick, and the sky needed an 1/8 inch thick. The snow-capped mountain peaks are the focal point of the wood wall art, so I played around with different mountain locations until I found the layout that I liked. If you do your staining and finishing before attaching the pieces to your board, it makes the whole thing a lot easier. So I decided to stain the mountain peaks before attaching them to the board. The white stain wasn't as white as I was hoping, so I actually added some more white acrylic paint on top of that. I also picked out the other stain colors that I thought worked together the best for the rest of the mountains. The pieces that were already cut out were stained after they were cut, but for the sections that I hadn't cut yet, I just stained some of the full strips in the various colors so I could cut them to the right lengths later. The peaks and critical edges needed to be anchored so I could push up against them, so for this wall art I used my pin nailer. But for the second board I made, I realized I could just use some CA glue and the accelerator to lock it in place. I was sent this CA glue to try out from Starbond Adhesives, and it comes with an accelerator. This is the thick version. There's also a medium and a thin, and I've been very impressed by it. It does a very good job. I have no complaints so far. And if you look in the description below, I have a discount code for 15% off your purchase. At this point, it was just a matter of cutting a lot of odd shaped pieces to different sizes and shapes to fit a particular spot on the board. Make sure though to leave some overhang over the edge of the board, because this will make it easy to get a clean cut along the edge when you're done. As a final touch, to give the look of a hint of sunset, I dry brushed some orange acrylic paint onto the sky just above the mountains. Each piece was then glued in place as I slowly assembled the entire mosaic. Once you finish gluing down everything and it dries, you can use a router and a table saw to cut off all the excess to be flush with the edge of your plywood. Around the edge of the mountain wall art, I cut a simple frame to give it a finished look, which I stained black. This was just nailed and glued in place. Once I finished this one, I actually made another one for a friend where I swapped out some mountains and the lake for trees. On this one, I used a lot more of the Starbond CA glue because of the ease and convenience. It's really ideal for this type of build. In the end, my wife was pleasantly surprised when she got this. She was not expecting it at all. And my friend that I made one for as well was also very happy with hers. Now I'm just not sure if I like the trees or the lake better. So let me know in the comments below which one you like better, and it's okay to like both. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.